Hi, I'm Becker with Ramp Construction. I am doing an attempt to repair here for claim number 783-950-GQ for Mr. Rodriguez. It's an attempt to repair. There's quite a few wind damage shingles here. Just want to give some context. Quite a few.
Grease on the back as well.
And there's even two different claims here, so I'm probably going to do another attempt to repair on a different shingle, probably on the back here, for this one. But with that said, so the shingle I'm going to attempt to repair, because I feel like it might be the best location, is right here where this one's flipped up. It's already off, right? So it's been sitting like that. That's off. Now, okay. So my first step is I'm going to try to grid out. The shingles that are surrounding that could be impacted by this repair. But first and foremost, I'm going to have to identify which shingle that is. Just because of the placement, I have to figure out where the shingle actually ends so I know what shingle I'm replacing here. Also note, just for the sake of the video and the accuracy of everything, this shingle right here, right above, is already creased. So when I'm assessing the repairability here, I'm already understanding that this is damaged already. So it's obviously an impacted shingle and it could be damaged further in a different way though. We'd be looking more towards mat transfer and breakage or stuff like that when lifting the shingle up. But as far as the creasing, that's already creased. And the three things that I look at with repairability with respect to it is the shingle brittle to the point where it's breaking when I unseal it in order to access the nails? Is the shingle, when I lift the shingle up, is there going to be material transfer from the bottom up to the top? If that's the case, we're looking at that being damaged that would make this repair attempt fail, because it's not actually facilitating a repair that wouldn't be causing more damage. The goal would be not to cause more damage. Looking at the roof, I'm pretty skeptical already about the repairability of it. But that said, I'm sure documentation would never hurt nationwide. So here we are. I'm going to identify which shingle this is, and then I'm going to draw a grid, number off the shingles that are affected, and already here, I'm at a corner. There's a little bit of breakage, so I'm showing the shingle about that high. We'll look at the mat transfer. There's already mat transfer right here, right here, right here. There's mat transfer. It's called material transfer. So that would kind of show that. Okay, so this shingle's over here. That's what this is. Because this was a part of the shingle that was here was a part of this, and that starts here, which means it finishes here. Okay. Good deal. So we understand where the shingle is. So this is the shingle itself. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to number off the impacted shingles. So this is actually good. You have an entire almost row of 3-tab shingles. 2 out of the 3 are gone. They're missing. So we'll number this one 1. And you already had mat transfer there a little bit. We'll show that at the end. We're going to call this 2. This is not creased already. That one's creased. So I'm looking at mat transfer and breakage with that one. This one is, we're going to call that 3. So this is the shingle right here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to call this one 4. 5. 6. 7. But what I'm doing is I'm gridding out the shingles that are going to be impacted by doing the repair itself. That way we understand for every one shingle we're replacing, how many are going to become damaged. And that's generally how you would facilitate a repair, especially with 3-tab shingles. That's gridded out. So, and there may even be more. I'm gonna unseal shingle 4 here. You see the granule loss just from me trying to unseal it. Being extra careful. You hear that rip? That's material transfer. I feel it. It's right here where my finger is. We'll zoom in on that at the end when I lift it up. Right here. See that stuck? It's gonna break. And you see how careful I'm being, okay? It's already breaking right here. So I'll try to go in here and try to even be more careful. Yeah, so you had breakage right there. That shingle's broken. And then you have material transfer that's extensive. Right? Look at all that mat transfer. Come here. Look at all that mat transfer. See that? So that's breakage. So we're already experiencing, hey, look right there. Boom. You're already experiencing a case where the shingle's not really in a repairable state. But that being said, we're gonna make the repair. And you know, we'll see the condition of everything afterwards. But you're seeing forms of breakage already, whether it be breakage, material transfer, etc. Once I start taking the nails out, you're going to start seeing creasing and stuff like that. So you're not really fixing a wind damage problem by doing a repair here. Get in there, breakage. All I'm trying to do is pull the nail out gently. I'm not picking the shingle up too high. You see how I'm picking it up? I'm not bending it, I'm not folding it. Now we're gonna go to shingle 5, up here. Same thing, we're gonna zoom in here. I'm trying to unseal it so I can access the nail. Being careful. You can already hear the material transfer. The ripping going on right here. That's ripping. That's right there. Again, I'm being as careful as I possibly can. Not a reckless contractor, if we put it that way. Taking that one out anyway. Gotta unseal shingle 3. Get to that nail. You can already see the breakage. Look at that right there. Boom. Breakage. More breakage. Alright, that shingle sits. Already. You see it, you look at the granule loss in the location. Hear that ripping sound? It's mat transfer. That's breakage. Right here. See that? That's from the pry bar. That's from the roof snake right there. Right here. That line is from the roof snake. Again, see how high I'm picking it up? You see how careful I'm being? And that shingle too. Unseal that. and this has roof cement in a very weird location. So this shingle is definitely gonna break. Already broken. I'm gonna have to come back and hand seal in certain areas where the breakage is. You guys see how careful I'm being in this video. The shingle's not an applicable state. They're very, 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 very You're being reckless. More breakage. Replace it with a Indeed XT25, which honestly looks too big to even go here. If I had to guess, this shingle's probably a 20-year shingle. Most likely on a product that is not available right now. The 20-year shingles aren't available in general. Let's see the size differences. Side, you can see a little bit. Yeah, this shingle's right here. See how much bigger that shingle is than that? That's a whole different story, you know. Product availability and compatibility. If you don't have a compatible product and there's not one available, you know, doing these little repairs isn't really something that we can do, you know. Get the hammer real quick. The product itself is not the same size. I'm going to try to make this repair to the best of my ability, but this is just not an acceptable repair. I can already tell that this is a failed repair attempt. And so now you're going to see granule loss, which is another form of damage that happens when you're dealing with a brittle shingle. So granule loss, mat transfer, breakage, all that stuff. This is what happens when you try to repair a shingle that's brittle. Trying to use the roof snake for what it's spec'd for, and I'm not crazy about it. I'd rather just do this differently, but I do this for insurance companies that ask for it to be done with the roof snake a certain way. The granule loss is extensive, as you can probably see in this video. Trying not to pick the shingle up this high, but I'm also trying to fasten the shingle down. Definitely gotta hand seal these. Dog's going crazy. so bad for the dog inside right now. Already damaged shingle, so me picking it up isn't going to change anything. Okay, so any more nails I got to put in? Let's make sure. One nail there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. One more down for good measure because this one had a bunch of nails in them. Whoever the roofer was really fastened these shingles in good. Certainly went to do proper installation with this roof. Now we look at the shingles that are here. Whoa, bad granules. Okay, be safe. Right here, this creasing. You can see where I picked it up. You can see what point I picked it up to. Creasing, that's shingle 7. Or that's 7, here's 6. Some creasing starting up here. Mat transfer, if you want to come get under here. Mat transfer. Let's go over here. Let's look at the mat transfer here. Mat transfer, breakage right here. You're breaking the shingles every time you lifted them up. Every time I unsealed a shingle, breakage took place. Right here, breakage. Mat transfer. Look at that mat transfer. Come over here. Same thing. Breakage at the corner right here. And then you got mat transfer. Look at that corner. And then look up. Under here. You got mat transfer over here. Mat transfer right here, and mat transfer right here. Right here is a bunch of mat transfer. You got breakage right here. Come look at that breakage on the corner. Look at all that granule loss. That's damage. That's damage that's done only by doing an individual repair. And then also the shingle and size is not compatible with this roof. So it's larger in dimensions. It also has a higher warranty life on it. So personally, I think on either claim that's here, I should be able to submit this one video, and it should be very clear that this roof failed. Attempt to repair this roof failed. Again, shingle 1 was already wind damage, but you're looking at breakage, mat transfer. You're looking at granule loss that was significant and damage caused by doing the repair. And over time, you're going to be able to see the creasing more and more as granule loss happens. Obviously, we're going to try to hand seal these down until determination is made to replace this roof. Hopefully, that's where we get to. And, we're able to get this roof done as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your time. Again, Becker with Ram Construction for Mrs. Rodriguez here on 2007 Roja Farm Lane.